Hey guys, and welcome back to the Mado Videos podcast by Guch. Uh, Today's guest, we have Archana from upGrad. Archana is a communications and content strategist who's had over 18 years of experience. She is equally adept in uh, strategizing and executing content for both B2B and B2C domains. As the director of content and communications at upGrad, she's done some amazing campaigns, and she's also here to discuss with us a few other campaigns that other teams that at upGrad would have done. And in fact, she shares some very interesting ideologies about creating content for especially people spread across different regions, and sort of ensuring that you get their trust, and you're also able to generate ROI for the brand. So I don't want to waste a lot of time with just me being on the screen. I'll quickly add Archana to the stream and let's welcome her. Hi Archana, how are
Hi
you?
Pranav. I'm good, Pranav. Thank you for having me here.
Awesome. First of all, thank you for taking time out and joining us on the podcast. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Again, upGrad is such an interesting brand, and you have yourself had a very interesting journey before upGrad. So, just
Yes.
before we get started, why don't you give us a quick introduction about that journey? How have things that in your career led you to the current position that you have?
Yeah, happy to be here, Pranav, and thank you for having me and us as a brand. So, I had an interesting journey so far. The best thing about it was that it was never planned. So, I kind of responded to the needs of my inner self, if I may call, without being too philosophical. So, started with being a journalist working in a newspaper way back. And when you said 18 years, I sound ancient. But yeah, those days people were reading newspaper also. So
True.
started as a journalist. I come from a town called Nagpur.
Right.
So there are these two newspaper, Lokmat Times and Hitvad. That's where I started my career.
Right.
To across platforms and mediums and modes. Network 18, I've spent around 9 years with Network 18 across their different divisions, whether it was
Right.
B2B publications or Money Control, which was a digital medium, to CNBC
Mm.
TV 18, which was a branded content division, to then shifting to Economic Times, and now with upGrad. So, uh, what I love about this journey, while it was full of learnings and full of excitement, is that it's a whole 360-degree view, learning, and experience of of content and its medium, and
Mm.
understanding what the TG wants and who are the TG, how do they consume content.
Right.
At upGrad, has been a very, very interesting journey, also a huge learning curve personally.
Mm.
Being in upGrad was a conscious decision and a conscious call. While it is not related to media from where I have spent most of my time,
Right.
but I wanted to not just talk about what is happening, but be part of the action.
Right.
Is how I will call my journey here and going forward. I
Mm.
knew education and learning was broken. I've seen it in the close quarters. I have understood it that that's something which really needs to be fixed at so many levels. I know that learning at that time also, when I spoke to Ronnie for the first time before joining upGrad, I knew that I wanted to be part of this whole anthem where we are creating difference in the lives of so many people. And I'm glad I'm here.
Right.
Yeah, that's been my journey so far.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, you also worked with a lot of print media. You've also seen other modes of communication. You've done digital, you've done print, you've done outdoor, all sorts of things. And today, video has emerged as one of the leading, uh, like I think, medium of communication. I want to know, why is Archana mad over videos? specifically.
And I think video as a medium demands a lot of madness, because I think if you're sane, you will not be able to deliver justice to this whole medium. And I'll tell you why. How do I perceive it?
Right.
Um, it emotes, and
Mm.
if you are not real, you will not resonate. And for you to get real, you have to get into the depths of a lot of things. For example, and that's why I call it art science, which leads to commerce. Art,
Yes.
because storytelling is an art. Empathy is something which is so internal. Science, because there is a whole lot of data which has to back your decision of what kind of content for whom, what should be the tonality, what should be the length, what should be the price point, what should be the story, what should be the content. So there's a whole data backed decisions that you take, but you
Right.
can only do so much with the data, right? If you do not
Mm.
feel the need of your final consumer, if you're
Right.
not one with them emotionally with a high EQ
Mm.
and
Mm.
empathy to solve
Correct.
their problem, which is going
Correct.
to be very real and very, very deep,
Correct.
you will
Yes.
never be able to do justice, right?
Correct.
And therefore, if you see, we are living in a very chaotic and overcrowded content space.
Right.
Everybody is a content creator, and it's a
Mm.
complete democratization of content, and
Yeah.
more so the video content.
Correct.
We now know that we have the means and the methods to create content, and that to video content. Let's talk about video content.
Right.
So I feel the real hero, the UGC, where the user generated content is equally good, equally credible, or more. Then how do you, as content curator, create a difference for you? And that
Mm.
is that requires a whole lot of madness.
Correct.
And this pandemic has given us another level of madness, because to
Yeah.
shoot, curate, and produce and post produce videos during the lockdown has
Right.
been a great learning experience. So yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of madness at different levels.
Like that's the science part that you did not talk a lot about, right? I mean, there's so much that goes behind making a video.
Yeah, the tech
Which,
part of it. Yeah,
because I think long time back when it was all about making those huge larger than life ads. It was all about
yeah,
like putting large crew together, large cameras which not everybody could afford. Today you have a phone in your pocket which you can still shoot amazing videos, edit them
yeah.
quickly on a computer, and then just put it out, right? So like you said, the techniques have evolved, the way people think and make use of these techniques has have evolved. So it is, like you correctly mentioned, it has just democratized and put the power back in the hands of people.
Yeah, but then that also is a puts a lot of responsibility on people who are trying to create an impact. And I feel every content producer, every video content producer is trying to
Right.
create an impact. And more
Mm.
so from upgrad point of view, because we are into education. Uh,
Right.
Ours is an impact business. If I'm
Correct.
able to, and I have to have a lot of gravitas, I have to have a lot
Mm.
of meaning, I have to have a lot of seriousness. At the same time, I have to relate to the youngster who's like, say, 18-year-old. I have to
Correct.
relate to a person who's, probably lost in his or her life because
Right.
of lack of mentors.
Yeah.
And then you can't be boring. So if you are all preachy, nobody wants to listen to you. But
Correct.
if you are frivolous, then you lose your credibility. So it's a
Right.
very thin line. And if you look at all the
Mm.
campaigns that upgrad has brought out, whether it is aage ki soch or bahana na banana or kaam ki nahi naam ki degree, these are very relatable.
Yeah.
It's a very fun part to it, a fun element to it, without being frivolous,
Correct. Correct.
where we
Right.
wanted to kind of deliver a very strong message. We wanted to say it the way it is,
Right.
without diluting it, but without being crass.
Right. Right. Since you
So
mentioned the
yeah,
kind of business that you are, and the philosophy that you guys share, I mean, like you guys are in a domain which is, I mean, just, I mean, it's as good as necessities, right? I mean, we used to say the primary needs of a person is food, shelter, and clothing. But
yeah,
without education, you cannot really do anything, right? I mean, all these things can be bought because if you are educated, right? And I'm not talking about like really like going to science and becoming a doctor or an engineer. Today, some sort of an education which adds skills, which is what your brand policy is about also, right? The brand vision
So
is
our
to
brand, sorry,
skill.
our brand policy is not about any kind of education. We go with the whole philosophy of lifelong learning. If you
Correct.
look at the whole technological disruptions, technological disruptions, now the whole economic disruptions and the health disruptions,
Right.
everything, the life as we knew it isn't there anymore.
Right.
Technology is changing jobs, and I always say this in whichever platform I'm talking, that technology is not a disruptor, it is a creator. It is you who's ill prepared to be
Hmm.
with the in tune with times, because if you look at it, there are a lot of jobs that are being created, and that's the whole philosophy that upgrad follows, that you have to be a lifelong learner. You have to have a continuous streak of learning across throughout your journey for you to be relevant.
True.
So yeah.
True. My question was, I mean, if I were to like follow it on, uh, like you spoke about you being a impact measuring brand, right? And I want to know uh, what kind of an impact do videos have on the brand equity? I mean, you guys are in that domain and you have a certain perception already built around the brand. There is enough of awareness around the brand, etc. Like I know you all have done a lot of communication in digital and TV both, but in specifically, like how's the impact been because of video specifically?
Yeah, so I'll talk about that, but let me, because we've conducted a survey recently, a research survey on the consumption habits of people. What are their problem? How are they solving it? Who's solving it for them? Are they
Right.
happy with the solutions? What kind of mediums do they prefer? What is the timelines that they are okay with? A lot of learnings. Also, the consumer, as we knew it, have are they are a changed set of
Hmm.
people. So
Hmm.
this again, what remained constant was the whole growing popularity of video as a preferred medium, and then
Right.
combine it with mobile. These are the two superheroes of our time, that video and mobile first approach to videos also. So
Right.
I'm not talking about videos that I watch it on my desktop. I'm talking about the videos, because the whole philosophy from the content to the presentation, when it is a
Right.
mobile first, changes.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
these are the two trends that have come up majorly, and we have percentile like 98% of the people want mobile first videos.
Hmm.
When you
Hmm.
compare it with mobile audio and textual, naturally video come in first. Like 1 to 5, it is video, and then there is on the sixth position there is audio, and then there is textual. So
Right.
it is here to stay. But another thing that has come out as a part of the research is people are becoming very very choosy about what they want to view and watch. They
Right.
have very specific need based things. So if they want to be entertained, they will not watch anything. Plus, things like the whole short format video as we knew it, you would call 5 minutes as a short. Now it's 60 seconds, or a five or a five
Reels.
second.
Right.
Yes. So the whole definition of short format video has also changed. But what it has done is that the patience level of people has gone down. So they
Hmm.
want everything very very quickly. So if you are 5 minutes, you are an eternity. You are like, oh my god, it is a long format. So
Hmm.
that those things have changed a lot. Coming back to your specific question about upgrad and our video, and how has it kind of positively impacted our brand. So if you look around all the campaigns that we have done, video of course is a major part of it, while there are audios and while there are prints. But I would say we are majorly focused on video.
Right.
It kind of helps us to position ourselves as a career buddy. because you need to have a face to you. You need to have a humane, element to your brand, and all of this a video is able to deliver. Like for
Right.
example, the videos that spoke about, right? Naam ki nahi kaam ki degree,
Hmm.
or that one seat ad, or even the donkey ad. Like we got a lot of chatter on internet for that, and you know that the fact that you're
Yeah.
smiling, but
Yeah.
that's how mad we are.
Yeah.
That's a signature style, that how mad and how crazy we are, and we do
Right.
not believe in following convention. Otherwise, an edtech brand having somebody lick that donkey and saying that the copy that said, you have to be
Hmm.
mad to do that. And it was a
True.
conscious call to do that.
True. Absolutely.
So love
No
us,
doubt.
hate us, don't be indifferent to us.
I like the way you think. I definitely love that approach. Like we'll come to the campaigns that you mentioned. There's one more question that uh, keeps troubling me, because this is something that I get from most marketers, and it's hard to sort of give them a direct answer, because the problem that they face typically is to convince management. Okay, they want to do different things. They know, they believe in the power of videos, but traditionally, the medium preferred choice of mediums are always, say, I don't know, PPC campaigns, or SEO, or PR, and all those sorts of things. I mean, again, they have their own, I think, charm. Uh, but then people find it very difficult, because most marketing bosses, I would call them marketing bosses, because they're sometimes very rigid in the way they think, right? They're used to numbers, right? They're used to the whole ROI metrics, on which, I mean, the lens that they look at any campaign or any initiative is always from the lens of ROI. But then there is always this other side where you can build trust, right? You can build long term association with your customers, and which is far fetched. Like, you cannot possibly measure some of the drift impact that creates. How do you sort of solve this problem? Again, I know that at upGrad, I think, right from the top, because even the CEO, like, everybody is like, I mean, video first. It is easy to for a marketer to come to you and say that, hey, I have this interesting idea, you want to go about it or no? And it's difficult for a few people in different organizations. How do you think something like this could be solved?
So, very interesting question. I feel you should first have the vision as to where you want to go,
Hmm.
and that vision has to be, of course, long term, medium term, and short term.
Right.
All of them have it, right? It's not that nobody has it. All of them have it. What
Correct.
what lot of companies lack is the appetite to try and take
Hmm. Hmm.
risks,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So you just said that maybe the ROI will not be secured in the first campaign or the second campaign, and
Hmm.
that's where the whole appetite comes into play, and that's where
Right.
the whole sticking to your, while not being rigid, but sticking to your path that you've chosen with a lot of conviction and a lot of data, if I may say so. So that is the
Right.
first thing, that you should have the appetite to make sure that you are going in the right direction. Things will happen.
Hmm.
The second is, I feel you spoke about SEO, you spoke about conventional ways, but at the end of it, everybody wants the buck out of bang out of the buck, right?
Right.
Now, if you are different, if you are able to connect emotionally, if you are able to understand the problem of your TG and solve it by way of your product or solution, if you are able to create a trust that this brand can be trusted, and why
Right.
so, all of
Right.
this is part of messaging. Now, if you need a lot of dash of creativity, a dash of very strong storytelling, and the way the viewer is going to watch it in their environment. So you have to understand their environment. So what we have done is, and if it just helps anybody to follow this practice, So I was telling you about the concentration that upGrad wants to get into the whole tier 2 and tier 3 cities,
Mm,
right?
mm, right.
Why so? Because we believe that we as upGrad, because we are an impact business, we are education into education, online education, we cannot be catering to a very small percentile of the population. So
Right.
while right now we have courses which are in deep science, and that portfolio is also growing, we are
Mm,
also consciously growing a portfolio of products and solutions for which are non-STEM, which are non-deep tech.
right.
And the reason being both from the price point of view as well as the paying capacity. Now that
Mm,
means that I want to be scalable. If I want to be scalable, I need to go to the masses. If I want to go to the masses, I need to cater and be relevant as a brand to
right.
Bharat as much as I'm being relevant to India.
True. True.
When we got into this mode, we realized that most of us are not curating content, and because we are talking video content, most of
Mm,
us are not curating video content with the relevance of the Bharat first. We are
yeah.
maybe translating that content into regional language, which I feel is a very different thing
Yeah.
than thinking Bharat first, right?
Correct.
Because their problems are different, their
Right.
realities are different.
Right.
So what we did was, while we got a lot of data and everything, we also got the pictures of our real customer. How do they look like? What
Mm,
are their
mm,
pain points? What are their aspirations? What do they
right.
dream of? What troubles them? And
Mm,
we all have it in our computer, so that I'm
wow.
staring into them while
Right.
I'm curating content.
Right.
Because we as content curators cannot be sitting in our thrones and deciding what our
Mm,
consumer wants.
right.
It never
True.
works, it will and never will work.
Right,
so
right.
so
The
that
first thing that popped in my
yeah.
mind when you said that, Archana, is watching a Hollywood movie with I think regional subtitles, right?
Yeah.
You've seen like you've seen
Yeah,
Titanic and
those
somebody
realities are not
translating.
relevant for me. Yeah, those
Exactly.
realities are not relevant for me. Talk to
Yeah.
me from the realities that are relevant to me. Then only I will have all the things that you mentioned, Pranav.
Right. Right.
Does it resonate? Is it relatable? Will I build a trust?
Mm,
Is it
yeah.
SEO friendly? Of
Yeah.
course, because nobody is typing skills. Nobody is saying
Mm,
I want what is conflict management, but they will
correct.
definitely type कि अपने बॉस से मैं कैसे जमा के रखूं. Now if
Ha.
you're not
Right.
answering that, then you are not
Yeah.
being relevant, and then you're
Correct.
not talking in the language that they
True.
understand.
True. True.
so
True.
so so whichever strategy you take, not
Mm,
understanding your TG, not curating it for them, keeping them in mind, focused 110%, will never
yeah.
get you anywhere, whether it is SEO, ROI, all the jargon words we may use.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for clarifying the whole approach and sort of breaking it down. The next thing I want to do is straight away jump onto some of the best campaigns that you guys have pulled off. And before we like start playing some of these, congratulations, because you guys have done an insane job in terms of good storytelling, in terms of good production value, and creating and delivering this content to the relevant audiences, right? That is again, not just creating is not I mean, job is not done once you create a great piece of content.
Yeah.
It ensures that it reaches the right audiences. So with that, we'd start with the first campaign, which sirf naam ki degree nahi kaam ki degree,
सिर्फ
right?
नाम की नहीं, काम की डिग्री.
Correct. So with that, I have two videos that we could be discussing. Let me first start with the lesser what do you say, uh, controversial one, and then maybe we can play the other one, and then I'd like to dig deeper into the both the campaigns, trying to understand what went behind, like even conceptualizing these, right? So I'll just play the first
So
video
Pranav,
giving you.
at least we are justifying your podcast name, which is Mad Over Videos.
Yeah, 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 for
Um,
sure. That's the reason why I like always ask the first question: why are you mad over videos? If you're not, then you should not be here. So
so
that
let me
that is
ask you
always.
this question back to you.
Yeah.
Why are you mad over videos?
I am mad over videos because I think I get to tell stories of different brands. Right, the first thing that is interesting to me is I don't work on the same thing every day. Right, I get
Mm,
to meet different sort of people. Each person has a different story to tell. They have, I mean, crazy ideas. I think there are different sorts of marketeers and people who commission these content pieces, right? I have been in a creative role for I think close to 3 years, and now I'm moving more into a marketing role. It's usually the other way for a lot of people that I've met. It's I mean, they are marketeers, and then they're like, okay, I also want to try a hand at doing content myself. But then it's been a very mixed bag journey for me. But what I have done in the last 3 years or so is I had the opportunity to meet with all sorts of people. Someone who just comes with an idea and just like, okay, this is what my requirement is, and then just leaves it there. Whereas somebody else wants to be extremely hands-on. I want to know what is the shot division, and I want to know, like, okay, what is going to be there in the background in this frame and things like that. So it's brilliant because every day you're solving a different challenge. Again, the love for the medium has always been there, right? Ever since I was a child, I loved cameras, right? I never got to explore this as a full-time opportunity. My journey has been pretty I think diverse. I'm a mechanical engineer from NIT
wow.
Jamshedpur. I did a core job. I moved into management consulting. I headed growth and business verticals, and then started creative. Like it's been like a really different journey. But then it's interesting for me because I always had the love for the medium. But then other than that, like just having different problem statements and being able to like translate them into creative, right? The final output, it's a wonderful blessing, right? That's the reason
Absolutely.
I mean, it keeps me going. Today I'm sitting
Good
on
to
the other
know.
side. I'm watching other people create videos, whereas I get to like talk to the people about what they're doing, so, like you. So that
Yes.
it's been a great journey for me. But yes, coming back to sirf naam ki nahi kaam ki degree, the first video that I want to play is the one around seat, which is I think the context is around the game of musical chairs. I think we all, at some point in time, have played the game of musical chairs. We all know that there are limited number of seats. There are more number of people in contention to get those seats. And you guys have drawn a very beautiful parallel between that and B schools. So let me play the video, and then maybe you can talk a little bit about
Yeah.
it.
कुछ सीट्स और कई बच्चे, लगता है ये खेल एमबीए कॉलेजेस की सच्चाई से इंस्पायर्ड है, जहां अच्छे एमबीए डिग्री की सीट एक और स्टूडेंट्स अनेक। जिसे सीट मिली उसकी तरक्की पक्की, बाकी सब घूमते रहो। लेकिन अब नहीं, अपग्रेड ला रहा है एमबीए स्पेशलाइजेशंस ऑनलाइन वर्ल्ड की टॉप यूनिवर्सिटीज से। अपग्रेड, सिर्फ नाम की नहीं, काम की डिग्री।
Right.
Yeah. It always, always gets me that the such a simple idea, such a powerful one, such a relatable one for all
Yeah.
of us. And I think with this whole rationing of education, if I may
Yeah.
call it, that you have to be really the best for you to get educated in the stream that you want, and the field that you desire and are passionate about, is such an injustice. And this whole idea is the genesis of this whole idea is that we are just made to feel um, so limited, and the seats, because the seats are limited, you have to be the best, you have to be in the top 5% every time. A child, or a youngster who has a lot of passion, but is slow to bloom,
Hmm.
always gets lost in this crowd. And more
Right.
than losing the opportunity, we know of so many people who lose confidence, and their life is different. It could have been different, but it is different because, the perception that he or she has about themselves, and
Hmm.
then the whole society around them, that
Hmm.
if you're into IIT or a certain engineering college, then only you're the best. That we all grew up with that,
Yeah, yeah, we,
I think. So it that's what I call that. You have to be real, you have to be empathetic, you have to be emotionally connected, you have to understand the real problem. When we did this campaign, that was the genesis, that the whole of India is subjected to this reality at one point or the other, whether it is career, whether it is education, whether it is anything which is critical for their life. So this whole few chairs, few seats, and multiple people, and you know what is the funniest part? We always, when India talks about our growth, we talk about demographic dividend, which we use it as a positive, right? That
yeah,
we will be so one of some of the best economies because of our demographic dividend. That means more number of people who are
right,
in that age and stage of life where they'll be earning for the nation. But if you look
right,
at this reality, that because we are so many of us, hence we
yeah,
will miss out on something, doesn't add up, right? So
mm,
online education has done that for so many of us. If you want to do any kind of degree or diploma or certification, or choose a choice of your as per your passion, you have the freedom to do that.
right, right,
So
right.
yeah.
Absolutely. I think very, like with the choice of the concept, the premise that you all picked is interesting because it's so relatable. I mean, like you said, most of the people that are currently in the early stage, they're all like the 80s and 90s
Yeah.
kids, and they've all played the game of musical chairs. They've all
Yes. Yeah.
to get to
And
get
also
past.
this game of university and college degrees.
Correct, correct. I was about to say that because I remember not making through the IIT and then having to settle with an NIT college. But then
And
that
that must
apart,
have been such a dejection for you, right?
I
And at that
back then
age
you
it
don't
feels.
know.
Yeah.
Back then you weren't aware also of the fact that hey, life doesn't end with that, right? I mean, there's so many other opportunities later on that your path could be very different from the people that you've seen and followed, and you can possibly even like succeed. To even greater levels without even going into an IIT. So that said, very beautifully pulled it off through that creative. The second campaign that you all did within the same tagline was something unique. Again, like you said, it did receive a lot of backlash because of the kind of
I'll call it a
representation.
chatter. I'll call it a chatter.
I would take that because it drove conversations again. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people say, uh, like if you've done a great creative or if you put out a great ad and people are still not talking about it, it's of no use, right?
Yeah.
So kudos to you guys on that. I want to know first of all how you all conceptualized and sort of approved this whole campaign. Post that, when you saw the chatter, what were the reactions within the team? So I'll play the video first, and then maybe we
Yeah.
can answer both these.
Sorry, boss. To move forward in my career, I don't need to lick ass, but I can kick ass by doing specializations online from upGrad.
Data and management specializations from top universities online. upGrad, सिर्फ नाम की नहीं, काम की डिग्री. Download the app now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always gets. So I can't say it gets my goat. I can say it gets my donkey. So, just like that, the previous ad that you saw was relatable for a lot of students, a lot of us who knew that we were marginalized and shortchanged in life and career at that point because there were limited seats and only the best could have those seats, and you are not the best. Either you are a zero or nothing, right? So, so that was relatable. In the same breath, nobody talks about this very relevant and real thing, that there are a lot of people who are close to the boss and who go extra mile to please the boss to get promotion. And that
Hmm.
has been the norm, that you're the boss's person, so you will get the promotion, you'll get the best projects, you'll get everything.
Yeah.
And we wanted to break that perception, because that's not a reality anymore. Your skills will take you to places, your competence will take you to places, right?
Yeah.
uh, we could have had any kind of creative and told a story, but
Hmm.
we believe that because it is so unique, so on your face.
Hmm.
There is a little bit of us in that ad. At one point, we would have thought, "Ki, I want to do this, but that's not me. I'm not a ass licker."
Hmm.
So each one of us has some kind of relatability to that, whether we are on this side or that side, whether we are the people who are doing this, or whether we are the people who are not doing this and yet
Right.
feel marginalized. So this was a conscious call, and it was a tough one,
Yeah.
because it all goes back to we being ed tech, we need to have gravitas. But we thought that to bring home a point of a stark difference, sometimes medication does not work, you need surgery, right? Medicine would not have helped this campaign, a surgery was needed. And
Hmm.
as in surgery, you have to go very harsh or sometimes.
Yeah.
So you have to cut some organs also. So this was our way of choosing, because we believed in this so much and so deeply,
Hmm.
that no amount of pleasing the boss is going to deliver your future or your great career. It's only the skills that you acquire, the relevant you are, it's going to help you in your career.
So
And yeah.
I like to point out how you just like mentioned a stereotype and then you also broke it, because you did say that because you are an edtech brand you have to have some gravitas. Again, which comes from a very traditional thought, but at the same time you all did push boundaries, you all did break stereotypes and try something which most edtech brands would not have dared to. So like I can understand that you were also seeing some of the responses coming before you even put that out, but I just want to know how you all dealt with the chatter that was all there around you all post the campaign. What were the reactions? What were the, I mean, like how did the team respond? How did the other stakeholders respond to the conversations that were done around the campaign?
Yeah. So we were very clear that this is what we want to do. We
Yeah.
were very aware that this is we will never have a tepid response to this. Either
Hmm.
somebody will love it for our stance, or people are going to hate it for showing probably which is a reality, right? So we always knew that it's never going to have a lukewarm response. There are going to
Right.
be two sides. So we were aware of it, and I think that's the first step. You remember I spoke about the whole appetite to
Hmm.
growth. So
Right.
when you take a stance like this, you need to have an appetite for a chatter like this. You cannot
Yes.
do one thing and expect the world to follow. You are living in
Yeah.
a very open and a digital world. So
Hmm.
that was always expected, that people are going to either love it or not
Right.
like it at all. So
Absolutely.
that realization helped from top to bottom. We all were aligned to this thought. How the team reacted, I think we took it positively. Like I said, love us, hate us, but don't be indifferent to us. That's the marketing stance, right? That
Hmm.
you don't want to be lukewarm, you don't want to be just about any other campaign, you have to have fire for you to demonstrate fire. And
Yeah.
I think the chatter, if not anything, it told us what not to do, because we're not saying that we are perfect.
Hmm.
We are in the business of education. Our whole motto in life is to learn, unlearn, and relearn. So
Right.
we can't, if we are the people who are saying this, we can't be saying that what we do is the best. we have the stance that, okay, we did something, we thought it is nice, you loved it, great. If you didn't like it, no problem. The other one, the seat one, is the second one in the series. We did a uh, more conventional one, for the want of better words.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I understand. Uh, I quickly want to move on to the next campaign that we've lined up. That is Aage Ki Soch.
yeah,
Again, I would like for you to set up some context before we like actually play the video. And
yeah.
thankfully, you've also prepared a bunch of slides for us to also like walk us through what went behind producing the whole
Yeah,
campaign.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I'll throw up these slides while you can possibly walk us through those.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is the first one.
Yeah, so I think Aage Ki Soch was done in the thick of pandemic, when it was a complete lockdown, and and also the whole attention on education and technology and learning was
Hmm,
there. So like the slide says, the pre-COVID Indian EdTech expected to go at 52% CAGR,
hmm,
was still considered a poor cousin. Then COVID-19 happened,
true.
and it got 1.5 billion learners overnight, right?
Right.
So there was no. It was like I think what demonetization did to fintech. People
Hmm,
are saying that
yeah.
pandemic did to edtech.
Yes. Yeah.
I agree and I disagree. Agree that yes, of course, the proof is in the pudding. Disagree because I think it was. This is an idea whose time had come already.
Right.
um, so um, so with the job uncertainty, and that's why I say that I don't disagree, that I disagree that pandemic was the sole reason. We already
Hmm,
were
hmm,
experiencing uncertainty. People knew that they have to be relevant for them to be
right.
employed.
Right.
So, and that is the reason why at the very initial stages, people went for free courses, because again, the whole investment appetite in their own career was lesser, and it grew. Free courses as a segment grew 65%.
Right.
But talking specifically about upgrad, it was not the case, because a, we are in a domain of courses which are higher. So due to our higher than average ARPU, planned learners became fence sitters because of several reasons. The biggest being that they were so insecure, they were more so insecure about their career in jobs and their employment and livelihood, that they didn't
Hmm,
want to part with the money that they would have actually wanted to spend on education. So
right.
so for us at that point of time, the lockdown looked like, it was a log jam for us as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's the whole genesis of what can I do to pump in excitement, pump in the whole urge to succeed. uh, so this all of this, what I just told you, that while edtech was growing, while there was a lot of surge in the free courses, but we
Right.
saw a dip, that because our per solution or per program cost was higher, so we saw
Hmm,
a dip, and that's the whole genesis of Aage Ki Soch. Because again, like the first two campaigns, this
yeah.
again talks a very um, deep uh, deep fear or anxiety, that people were so insecure about their future, that we
Yeah.
wanted to pull them out of that depression like state, where they said ki, what will happen to me now? And we said that, why can't we just look at a little ahead of times, when things will be better? And today, I think after 6-7 months of this campaign, I'm
Hmm,
happy to note that when things are getting back to normal, people who invested their time, energy, and money into upskilling themselves will have a better future, right?
right.
And this messaging of Aage Ki Soch was our attempt to mobilize people, to inspire people, to tell them not to think of what was surrounding them that time, because we told them that things will change for better, and therefore you should look ahead, aage ki soch.
Right.
That was the genesis part of it, the whole foundation part of it. Now to
Right.
do this campaign, or to bring this campaign to life was
Hmm.
another madness, because it was a complete lockdown. So
Right.
the team kind of got a lot of influencers, Radhika being one of them, and they
Right.
all shot with their own camera at their own home, and it was like a wave or a continuum, an anthem of sorts that we created.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
yeah,
Should I play the video for
yes,
everybody?
please, yes, that will be
Awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
पूरा इंडिया सोचे कैसे टाइम करे किल, घर पे बैठे बैठे लूज करे चिल, कैसे करे डील इस बोरियत से। पेशेंस लेवल ऊपर चले गया हद से, हार ना मान तू हनुमान ये मान, हार को हराना ये मन में बात ठान। यूज कर टाइम ये चीज है सीखने को, आगे बढ़ने को, सही प्लान अपग्रेड।
मोड़ लेके क्या करें, छोड़ो लेज़ी आदतें, सबको अब घर पे रहना, क्या दिन और अब क्या रात है।
सारी बातें है नहीं नहीं और वक्त भी बेहिसाब है, कर लो जो लगे सही, जो कल था वो कल की बात है।
बाहर नहीं आगे की सोच, घर पे बैठ नया कुछ खोज। बाहर नहीं आगे की सोच, घर पे बैठ नया कुछ खोज।
तू करे जी चाहे जो, बोल तू करो ना, चल तू साइड हो, सीख तू अभी जो भी तू चाहता है, ताकि बाहर निकले हाँ बन के तू 2.0।
Yeah.
I was still growing,
Very
growing
peppy.
onto the whole vibe.
Yeah, so it's a very peppy, very young, very can do, very aspirational, very inspiring, and that's what we wanted to do, because people were very, very gloomy, they were sad, they were insecure, they didn't know what to do. So again, the whole relatability factor to us, that we understood their problem, we felt their problem, we created a solution which was practical as well as emotional, and we wanted to pump them up and say that, let's not give up.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing I also wanted to point out, again, we spoke about how you all still kept it engaging for anybody. Like I was still growing onto the music even after the video
Yes,
ended.
yes, it's
So,
nice.
but other than the that fact, you have to also pay attention to the fact that uh, the previous campaign that we just played was super high on production quality. Like professional cameras, like actors who are like who are in costumes and makeup, and a lot of like high quality filmmaking equipment that went into producing it. Whereas this particular campaign was a very stripped down version of like an ad, right? You shot on mobile phones, and it's crappy. It's more like it's relevant because the message is there. It's engaging because music is great. You know the faces on the screen, so you can connect with that. But then the production takes a backseat. So like many a times people have to also understand that production value is not everything sometimes. And I'm sure that even like producing something like this was no lesser of a effort, no lesser of even the budget, I think, because of the kind of people
Yeah,
that were involved. But budget necessarily doesn't mean high quality production, but high quality output. Again, these two things, I mean, I would like you to sort of tell me how you look at these two things very differently.
yeah. So it brings me back to the name of your show, right? It's madness. You have to be mad over your videos, you have to be mad over your product, you need to be mad and crazy about the outcome, because lukewarm things don't respond to outcomes like these. And I think the whole team, I don't know how many sleepless nights must have been spent on this, um, and it shows, right? The passion shows, right from the whole rap, to the way it was made relatable, to the way it was shot. Yes, I agree that the output or the quality of production is not so great, but when it is so real, nobody really, you kind of want to give discount on the quality.
No,
That
I
time
don't think it
hope,
would have
yeah,
worked if this was shot on like high quality cameras. Like
it was
this
not,
live.
because that was complete lockdown, complete lockdown, right?
No, and even if you
Sometimes,
were to
yeah.
shoot on, if you, even if you were to shoot this same thing on high quality cameras or like big sets, it wouldn't have created this impact. It would have looked a lot more polished, but it would have killed the vibe.
So I completely agree with you, and this has been my stance. So interestingly, we were having a discussion. So every personality have flaws, right? The way
Hmm.
somebody might speak, they might stutter.
Yeah,
Somebody might do a lot of hand gestures. Somebody
yeah,
now, if you look at it, typical. If you go by the book, those are a strict no-no. Like you cannot stutter when you are public speaking. But
yeah,
I
yeah,
am of the firm believer that that's that person's personality. That
right,
stutter is part of his or her journey. You
right,
know, the way certain people pronounce certain things is
right,
part of their personality. It may be wrong English or wrong language, but
right.
that's them. And that makes it real.
Yeah.
So I feel that you have to kind of let when you're producing a content which
Hmm.
should, you know, which should not make the screen as a barrier, and it should have a direct connection, heart to heart, with your audience.
Yeah, yeah,
You have to allow some flaws,
yeah.
because if you allow some flaws, then my viewer
Hmm.
somewhere resonates that, oh, this is also flawed. If
Yeah,
you're so perfect, then maybe
yeah.
you're not
You're
relatable
not
to
real.
me, because you are like,
You're
you're
not
too perfect.
irritated. Yeah,
Yeah, you're too perfect, so you are not real.
right.
So in the same zest, my philosophy in life and in business is that it's okay to be real. It's okay to show some flaws. It's okay to, if because the medium wants it,
Yeah.
because the method wants it. You don't have to be always, otherwise you'll go and watch a movie. You're not watching a movie, you're watching a real people. Why do you think the user generated content gets so many likes and hits?
Hmm.
Because they know that this guy is equally good or bad like me, and today
Hmm.
he's doing that. So that
Hmm.
person gives me a hope that if he can do it, so can I.
Right.
So ultimately, you have to give hope. And this whole Aage Ki Soch was all about hope. And if you were
Hmm.
able to build hope and bring hope in the lives of people, that's what it mattered. And it did deliver the goods.
Wonderful note for me to transition into my last segment. I'm sorry
Yes.
we didn't have more time to discuss the last
No
segment,
problem.
but
It's okay.
like we just spoke about one great quality, that is hope, and from there I want to transcend into the other one which I want to talk about is gratitude, and that is all the last segment what it is about. And before even I ask you the question, I want to personally express a sense of gratitude, first of all, to you for coming and joining us on this podcast and sharing your thoughts and insights with us. But I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank my team members at Guch. Because again, for people who might be watching, we did a product launch today, and our product was called Final. We launched it on producthunt.com yesterday.
So
We were like,
congratulations.
thank you so much. We did trend as one of the top products of the day, and in fact, a lot of love that came from the community, from product guys, from creators. Again, the product is for creators and marketers alike, because Final is something where you can get real time feedback on your videos or audio edits. It's just like Google Docs but for videos. So you can give time
Okay.
code feedback. That's something that I'd like you also to check out, and for everybody else who might
Will
be
do. I
watching,
will do. Yeah.
please go on to final.guch.me, final.guch.me. Please check it out. It's a free tool. You guys are free to try it out. Just ping us whatever feedback you all have. But again, coming back to gratitude for to the team who put this off. Yesterday whole day we pulled off a 24-hour live-a-thon. We were almost live for 24 hours. I mean, we did have small breaks, but then we were live throughout the day to sort of answer questions from users and also
That's
celebrating.
madness. That's
Yes,
madness.
I mean it was very ambitious, and we never thought we would pull this off. But we had people online throughout. Like we had guests joining us, so that was something insane. And I'm really thankful for everybody who checked it out and who joined us and supported us on the launch. Coming back to the question to you, Archana, like I know like gratitude is something that we all have towards people, and we sort of enjoy and admire other people's work, and from where we learn, right? As a marketer, we learn from other people's things. We've spoken so much about you and your journey and upgrad. I would like to know if you would like to use this platform to also give a shout out to people outside of your organization, or people from your previous journey that have created amazing impact on your career, possibly even campaigns that you admire from other brands that you would like to give a shout out to, because here it's all about celebrating good work that we everybody does, right? It's not about they have done this. It's all about like, okay, I've done this, what else can I do, where else can I learn from, and what can I give back. So if you have some names, some examples of campaigns outside of what you've done, this is the right time to do a shout out.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful point that you brought out. I think gratitude is something that we should all be thankful that this pandemic um, reintroduced in our life. You know, empathy and gratitude. Every single day, you are thankful that you're alive and there is food on your table, right? Um, a lot of people were not lucky, are not so lucky.
Yeah.
And that is a feeling which is so humbling. That is a feeling that makes you spring out of your bed and do something worthwhile in life, so that you are being the change in somebody's life.
Yeah.
I will not talk about anybody or any campaign. I'll talk about really people who inspire me. um, as recent as today morning, when I was driving, I was being driven in a cab. I had a 40 minutes conversation with the cab driver. Um, because I'm not taking his name, I will tell you that he decided to commit suicide 8 days back, and he was alive. The biggest reason for his lack of wanting to live was the fact that his son was playing online game the whole day, and this poor father, who's 65, has to do all the hard work, and he is disgusted in life. Now, while I convinced him of what he needs to do, which I thought is right, what I learned from this conversation is that what can I do for all these 23, 24-year-olds who are so disillusioned in life that they can't see their parents suffering, and they are yet busy in their digital space. Can I do something by way of maybe gamification of education, where I'm able to satiate his need to play a game, yet he's learning and is able to earn his livelihood? Or that person in Ludhiana, or a girl in Ludhiana who always felt that she's shortchanged in life because she can't travel to even a Chandigarh to get admission in university. What can I do to make sure that she does not feel shortchanged in life and she has the equal opportunity that any kid in the metro has? These are the people, and so many of them. You have to be open. You have to open yourself to look at these things, and not only look at them, feel their pain, but do something about it, because you have the power to do something about it. I think these are my inspirations. These are the people who I look up to. these are the people who prompt me to do something right, because my profession, when I'm talking about videos, is not just to create kick-ass videos and campaigns. It's to deliver a difference in somebody's life.
Mm.
And if I'm able to do that, that's a job well done.
Absolutely. Fantastic note, and I'd like to bring this conversation to an end on that great note. Thank you so much, Archana, for
Thank
spending
you for having me. Thank you for
with
having
us.
me.
It's been an absolute pleasure and honor to be hosting you. As I
Thank you,
said,
Pranav.
I love the ideology. I love your approach towards your work. Um, in fact, I would hope that we get a chance to work together on some videos for upGrad. And
Absolutely.
with that, I'd like to bring this conversation to an end. But before we log off, I'd like to also make another announcement. I think even though this show was called Mad Over Videos Podcast, Mad Over Videos is far bigger than just this podcast. We have other initiatives like an e-magazine called Buzz and a Spotlight. And today we are launching our new show, which is called Mad Over Videos Lead Hers. Lead
Okay.
Leadhers. Again, this is
Oh,
about
how nice.
journey of women in leadership roles, and we have an incredible host to the series. This is Her name is Sindhya Balasingh. She's the head of partner marketing at Freshworks globally, and today we have our first guest. Tonight, in fact, 10 p.m. India time, we have with us Angelica Reis. Again, she is the head of European marketing for Freshworks, and we've already had some amazing guests lined up for the next few episodes. So whoever is following this podcast, please, if you have the time, tune in to Mador Videos Lead Hers today at 10 p.m. Uh, I hope we get to also uncover more stories and more inspiring stories of women in leadership roles, understand their challenges, possibly learn from each other, and sort of like also give a boost to people who want to take up leadership roles in tech and other businesses. With that said, like this episode comes to an end. Again, I'd like to thank Archana in her personal capacity and upGrad for having agreed to do this podcast and like share with everybody. And we hope to stay in touch and hopefully continue our relationship and translate into a working relationship very soon. And until then, I will be back with a new guest. So see you guys.
Thank you, Pranav. Great having you, having being in this show, and all the best. I think the initiative that you spoke about is nice. So all the best for that, and thank you for hosting us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye. Bye.